I'm evangelist coach Ricardo Miller of Effective Living. I'm so honored that you're joining me with my daily talk on ministry today. I've been doing ministry for more than 25 years, and God has released me in this season to work with churches. I like helping leaders. I want to see every church maximize its potential. Unfortunately, what I'm seeing is there are a lot of churches that aren't doing that well. And so the truth is, we have to discover what is it that we need to know so that we can have the success that God is desiring for us to have. For more than 25 years, I've served as a leader. I've had the opportunity to build different departments, and with joy, I say that I've had the privilege of working with hundreds of churches here in the United States and around the world. I want to talk about the subject of doing ministry alone. I believe anybody who's doing ministry alone is making a mistake. I believe that ministry at its best is not a solo mission. Let me say it again. Ministry is not a solo mission. God designed us to work together to fulfill his purpose. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 reminds us, it says, two is better than one because they have a return for their labor. Working in ministry alongside other incredible individuals allows us to create accountability. It allows us to share the burden. It allows us to foster growth. I've met so many people who says, Miller, man, I'm doing everything. And I'm asking them, why are you doing everything? Well, people don't want to serve in ministry today. That's a lie. That's not true. And the more you feed yourself that lie that people don't want to serve in ministry, the more you're going to find yourself doing the ministry by yourself and not identifying the people who are called to help you or to work alongside you. Remove that negative statement, people don't want to serve in ministry. That's not true. What you need to establish is whenever God gives vision, he gives provision. But also you have to realize not because you don't have a skill to do means that you need to label something impossible. We often say people don't want to work in ministry because we haven't acquired a skill on how to recruit people, how to recruit help. Someone is assigned to help you is what I teach all of my clients. And every day that I wake up, I ask God, who's assigned to help me in this season? Who's assigned to help me in this day? That's something you may want to pray. But here's the deal. You have to learn people skills. You have to learn how to work with different types of people. The greater the assignment on your life, the more people you're going to have to work with to fulfill your assignment. So if you don't like people, you're going to have a difficulty doing ministry with others. As an evangelist, I've had the privilege of traveling around the world, and I meet different people with different personalities and common practices that in their space, it's the way they do it. But then at the same time, over the years, I've learned how to work with them where they are. And then oftentimes I ask people, how's that working for you? They say, well, it's not working. Well, as a consultant, my goal is to help them to figure out how to make it work. Don't stick with something, hold on to something that's not working, okay? And then make excuses to justify that it's your truth to which you're going to stick with, which is people don't want to do ministry anymore. People aren't interested in the church. You know what? Years ago, it was so easier to recruit people. Well, we're in a new day. And that means you have to learn how to meet people in this new day. Well, that's one of the reasons why I've committed my life to go into churches and training teams. That's one of the reasons I'm grateful for pastors who would have me to come in on Sunday morning and say, hey, Pastor Ramilla, come in and just teach my team. Come in and preach to my congregation and remind them of the importance of doing ministry with others. Here's something what I know. Number one, collaboration strengthens the ministry. Let me say it again. Collaboration strengthens the ministry. Different perspectives and talents combined can reach more people and create lasting impact. But when you're doing it alone, what happens often is we dumb it down to our ability because it's only us doing it. So we're not going to go the extra mile. We're not going to do ministry in an excellent way because you know what? That's going to take too much. But collaboration strengthens the ministry because you can do more. Number two, it avoid burnout. Woo! Yeah, I mentioned it. Burnout. You would be amazed the amount of people who are doing ministry and they're burned out. And they're not burned out simply because they're doing more. They're burned out really because they're not doing more with others. You could do more and not be burned out when you learn how to share the load. Sharing responsibilities prevents burnout. Allow yourself to build a sustainable ministry by putting in a culture of teamwork makes the dream work. Don't do ministry alone. Burnout don't have to be your reality. Years ago, I started telling my teams as I was building the teams around me, I says, we're building a burnout-free environment. We're building a burnout-free. In other words, we don't burn out around here. How we're going to build a ministry. And that's what I've been teaching churches on Saturdays. That's what churches have been having me come in during the week in the evenings and say, hey, Miller, why don't you come in and do a series of trainings during the evenings for my different teams to help them to operate at a higher level to prevent burnout. There is no shortage of people in the earth to do ministry with. Let me say it again. There is no shortage of people in the earth to do ministry with. We oftentimes get ourselves so busy with the cares of this world. And a lot of times the things that we're doing in this world that's outside of the church, we will do it with others. But when it comes to church, we're hesitant to bring others alongside us to do the work of the ministry. Don't make that mistake. And last but not least, support in difficult times is one of the reasons why you don't want to do ministry alone. Let me tell you something. Difficult times will come. The storms of life will show itself up. And we don't determine when the storms show themselves up. But if you build yourself right, please know you have a greater chance of surviving and thriving through whatever difficulty shows up because you have a support system. When challenges arise, having a team ensures that you're not alone to face the difficulties. Okay, so I tell people life is going to happen. If you're a leader over the ushers, if you're a leader over the praise team, if you're a leader over the parking lot ministry, if you're a leader over the ministers, please know life is going to happen. And when life happens, yes, you could simply say, you know what, I can't because life happened. But because you're taking this time to listen to Evangelist Ricardo Miller, you're taking this time to take in this practical principle to simply say, build your ministry with the support system that is going to need with others to ensure that when you can't do the ministry, others will be able to continue the ministry while you're dealing with whatever life is trying to throw at you and your family. God bless you today. I want you to know, don't do ministry alone. God wants you to be blessed in everything you put your hands to. But you've got to be intentional to make sure that one of the principles that you're going to do in working in ministry is that you're going to work with others. Okay? I found that over 25 years I've been doing ministry and I have not burned out. I did not burn out in those years and I'm still not burned out today. And people say ministry is hard. I don't really lean into that belief system because I believe the hardness comes from lack of skill. I believe the hardness comes from lack of understanding. But when you get an understanding, when you acquire the skill, you'll find that it's so much easier to do that which you once called difficult. Increase your skill set. Get the training necessary to thrive in the ministry that God has called you to do in the earth. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to my YouTube channel and or share this with your team and tell them, let's take it to the next level. Let's help our lead pastor out. Let's help our church win our community. We can't do this alone. So let's start learning how to work with others because that's the only way great things are accomplished in the earth. God bless you. Don't forget to share this with somebody. Bye-bye.